Welcome back to the Party Up Podcast. This is Dari. We got Dari in the house. Dari's joining the party today.
What
hey, Dari.
Up? Hey,
What's
Dari.
up? Dari is, I've known Dari since freshman year. Dari is one of the most colorful characters I've gotten to know on URI campus since then. Dari's the homie. Dari's got my back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Dari, how do you view yourself? How do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, I don't know how PG 13.
I don't give a shit, man. It's whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's just going on YouTube and SoundCloud. It's not like this is even for school, so
All
it's
right.
like you could say fuck like all you want.
Fuck. All right. I don't know. I can introduce myself as being super emotional, wanting to avoid the feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out, for those of you.
Welcome to the struggle. That is my life.
Yo, don't I know it? I actually had several breakdowns because I was doing too much because I didn't want to miss out. That's
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, as in, like, academically, socially? Like, what do you mean? It's hard to FOMO academically. That's more of like an overwhelming stress thing.
Oh, no. I feel like I FOMO'd academically. Like, I picked up 3 majors because I was like, but what if these
What if I'm not doing enough, right?
Yeah. Like, what if way down the road some job won't take me because I'm not a communication major?
It's like, well, this person did 4 majors. Like,
literally, I actually know someone who's doing 4 majors right now.
In a 4-year, like, time frame?
They're going on 5 years, but hey,
still,
I mean,
like 4 years is barely enough. Well, I probably could have picked up a second major, right? Like if I really wanted to, but I'm doing a major and a minor, and I feel like that's plenty.
Yeah.
Like for 4 years, let alone like that's double the amount of things that you're supposed to do in only 1 more year. That's nuts, dude. People are pretty fucking cool, to be honest. I was reading an article about how a man slipped, hit his head, died instantly, and then another person like falls from a 10-story building, gets up, walks to the hospital, and checks himself in. Hey man, sometimes you just get the wrong angle.
I mean, I guess.
You just hit your frontal lobe or some shit, and you're just gone. That's a bummer.
Oh, no.
So what are your majors? You said you're doing 3?
3.
What was your first one?
Communications, just
Okay.
because you have to do gen ed. So I started doing communications, was like, wow, I suck at this. I might as well take some more classes to figure out how to look people in the eye. Ran into a teacher who taught storytelling, and he was like, you have to make us interested in what you have to say. So I've been struggling with that ever since.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to get people interested in. Yeah,
everyone wants people to pay attention to them, so I figured, okay, let's try this out.
Okay, so that's the one that you picked up like as soon as you got here. Were you ever undeclared at any point, or did you come in with the communications major?
Came in with an English major, switched to undecided, picked up a communications major. One of my friends was actually like, I want to start a business with you. So I was like, okay, let's get business degrees.
Holy shit.
That was Camille.
Really?
Camille, yeah.
That was Camille?
Hashtag
yeah, that's how we met. That's how me and Dari met. We had a mutual friend in Camille from Offbeat Look. I'm not really sure if like if our audiences overlap at all. I mean, but like I actually like begged Camille at one point. I'm like, please put me on your featured channels. We know each other. We're friends. Please put me on your featured channels. But it's like it didn't make any difference whatsoever.
Oh well. Jack only made like a quick pop-in thing for how are we studying in college. He actually got to curse on her channel. I was super jealous about that.
What, really? No one else gets to curse on her channel?
Well,
like she doesn't. She's a very.
She'll go like, you're not supposed to say that, and edit it out because she's going family friendly. I understand.
Which exactly. No, that's understand. That's the way to make it on YouTube these days. Like that's the only way to do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not trying to make money off this podcast. Like fuck that. So like yeah.
I mean, what was it?
My main channel is censored, but I bleep it because it's funny.
Quick side rant. They're trying to take fighting out of hockey. That was my favorite part of
what?
it. Yeah.
How do you...
They're trying to market it to be more family friendly. So.
Fuck that. That was...
Fuck.
Like I get that... Like, obviously, hockey, it has to be more... Like, there has to be a sport to it. It's more than the fighting.
Yeah,
but like, the fighting is part of the...
It's embedded into the history of it. I hit this. I hit the mic.
It'll be fine.
That problem? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I was so angry. I wanted to fight someone.
The fact that we're in this audio lab is enough to make up for any like
dings and
exactly, because the quality is going to be A+ in here.
All right.
Yeah. So
what was it? I've been listening to so many podcasts.
Yeah. What kind of what do you listen to? Like, what are your...
Wolf 359. To be honest, I really like the sci-fi.
What's that? Is that like a...
It's about space capitalism. Imagine like you're in a spaceship, probably millions of miles from Earth, orbiting the sun.
And is this a fiction thing?
This is a fiction thing. This
cool.
is like a sci-fi
Okay, yeah,
thing.
I've never gotten into the fiction podcasts. I'm mostly like...
I love it.
Just two people shooting the shit. Like, that's my kind of podcast, but like, I feel like I could get into the narrative thing. So what is this called? Wolf
359. That's basically the name of the sun.
Ship.
Yeah.
Or the sun. The name of the star. Ooh, cool.
The star, yeah.
See, like, I'm a huge like pop culture sci-fi nerd, so like I love that shit. Like,
wait, what podcast do you listen to?
I mostly listen to like I listen to a lot of like Sirius XM talk radio, like which, you know, a lot of that is pretty boring. Like, I don't listen to Stern or anything like that. Like, what I listen to mainly is basically what you get if you mix Howard Stern with Jackass. And you get Jason Ellis, which is what I listen to on Sirius XM. But then I listen to Kevin Smith's podcasts a lot. Being the guy who directed Clerks, like that kind of thing. He's basically made a career out of being a professional nerd, like a professional fanboy of like comic books and stuff.
I actually got into a fight with someone over Dogma, which is like...
Really?
Yeah, it's where the two stoner guys right outside the...
It's Jay and Silent Bob, and they fucking...
Yeah.
They
show up in a film that's like, let's go fight these two angels that are trying to destroy the world. Super good. I think it came out in...
It's like 99. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
91?
99, I think. Yeah, because Clerks came out in 94.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and that was his first film. That was made all black and white, $30,000 budget. Cult classic.
It really was.
I love that movie.
I'm actually trying to not verbally fight people, not physically fight, because that... Y'all can't see me, but I'm not that strong looking. Never mind in a fight. I got no skills.
Yeah, no, I'm a big tub of jelly. I can't fight anybody.
What was it? I actually made some really strong moves where I asked someone, have you ever seen the Star Wars films? And they were like, no. And I was like, that's fine. You don't need to watch them. Like, it's all about what you want to do in your own time. And they were like, wow, people have yelled at me for not watching.
It's like less like I try to do the same thing, right? Like, I try not to ostracize someone because they haven't seen a popular film or anything like that. But it's more like if someone says like, yeah, no, I've never seen a Star Wars movie. I've never even really like gotten into it at all. It's more surprise than anything else.
Yeah.
Because like I wasn't into Star Wars until basically Force Awakens came out.
Really?
So I'm a very late adopter of Star. Like, I had seen, you know, the older movies. Like, I had seen the prequels like on TV and shit. But like, I was never into the old movies because like they were never shown to me. So like,
yeah,
I didn't see them until way late in the game. But yeah, like I'm a very late, like
late bloomer.
Yeah, I'm a new Star Wars nerd.
You're like a middle schooler in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like people like I have no right to talk, right? I'm not a Star Wars super fan, you know, but it's like.
Yeah. But so besides like the main Star Wars episodes, have you seen the like in between one?
The movies?
No,
are we still in the realm of the movies, or are we in the TV shows and shit
I'm
now?
talking about the movies, the one where they talked about how they found the plans for the Death Star.
Oh, Rogue One. That's honestly one of my favorite ones. I love that movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, people shit on that movie because they're like, it wasn't exciting enough or some shit like that. But I'm just like, dude, this was it was an awesome action movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a fucking cool action movie.
Honestly, Star Wars really showed me that, like, hey, androids and people can get along and strive towards a common goal. Because I see iRobot and I go, oh, when's my radio gonna kill me? Transformers? Oh no, do I have the Allspark?
Yeah, oh no, Transformers, is this robot gonna pee on me?
Oh, I remember that.
I actually just watched, have you ever heard of a YouTuber named Lindsay Ellis?
I can't. No.
She's like, she basically does like video essays like around film, and she does like this series, which is like a very critical lens looking at the Transformers movies. Like she did a whole like 15-minute video on like feminist theory as viewed through the Transformers movie, like the first one.
All right.
Yeah. Have you seen the Transformers movies?
I have seen 1 through 3.
Yeah. The new ones don't exist. All of them don't exist except the first one. The first one I think is a pretty solid movie.
Pretty good. But there were some things.
Like that's the one where Bumblebee pisses on a dude. So it's like, who cares? But
true. I thought it was the second one. I thought it when they got like the two robots that were supposed to be like ghetto. I did not like. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, they're horrible. They're horrible for a lot of really like the reason everybody hates them. Those are good reasons. Those guys suck. But yeah, no, the first one is like, it was like a look at Michaela, Megan Fox's character, and basically how like if you take everything that's in the script, she's the only one that actually has an arc, because like Shia LaBeouf's character is a shitty human being at the beginning of the movie and a shitty human being at the end of the movie, and he remains a shitty human being until the end of the third movie. But it's like,
that's kind of where you got the you're the chosen one archetype that's going on with a lot of these characters. They don't really get a chance to
they don't evolve
develop.
of their own accord. They're literally just like told they're great and they don't deserve it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shia LaBeouf as an actor is one thing, but his character in that movie, looking back on it, he's horrible.
He's kind of just scared going through the motions when he's introduced to these giant humanoid-looking robots.
Yeah, and he's like a man. He's like a man-child, and he's really immature, and he's just like not a good person. Well, whatever.
Shia LaBeouf in Holes, though.
Holes is a fucking good movie.
I love that. Best Disney adaptation of a book ever.
Yeah, I maintain that is a solid fucking movie.
I think I talked about Holes more than I ever have in my entire life this year. Just like the start of 2018. In
what context did that come up? Someone
was like, so are you going to carry me up the mountain like Madame Zeroni if I don't do something? I can't remember the interaction. It was kind of like a... I'll pay you back a favor if you buy me a coffee. And they're like, all right, carry me up the mountain.
Carry me up the mountain like Madame Zeroni.
Yeah. Or I'll curse your family forever. And I was like, gosh. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Deep cut.
Reference.
I like that pull. Yeah. That's a fucking good movie.
Yeah. And then we were trying to figure out, did they eat onions or did they eat peaches from Sam?
What?
Sam was the guy that way back when Kissin' Killer Kate fell in love.
Oh yeah, Kissing Kate Barlow. That's right.
Kate Barlow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Robin Wright in an underrated performance. Was that Robin Wright? I think it was. But
he played in Psych, right?
Which one?
He was the guy in Psych.
Psych,
the TV show where there was Sean who
I think that
really
was Sam. Yeah. I'm talking about the girl who played Kissing Kate though.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was Robin
I thought
Wright.
you were talking about the guy.
No.
Right.
I think that is the guy from Psych though. I've never watched Psych, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him.
You're missing out.
Yeah, is it a good show?
It's pretty good. I'd say it's up there with Monk, to be honest.
I always saw those like advertised side by side.
Yeah.
So yeah, they kind of exist in the same universe for me.
Oh,
and I dig Tony Shalhoub, so yeah, I kind of want to watch Monk as well.
Oh my God,
yeah.
He was in a new TV show. I think it's like an Amazon original where it's like The Amazing Miss Millie or The Amazing Miss Maisel. It's about like ladies in the 50s or 60s.
It's Rachel Brosnan or some shit like that, right?
Trying to be a comedian.
Yeah,
but it was really
I heard about
good.
that. It won like Golden Globes and shit, right, or some shit.
I don't know. I just watched the first episode because it was free on YouTube.
I heard it was really, really good. Yeah.
Did you watch any of it at all?
No.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like spoil a teensy bit for you.
Go for it.
Okay, so her husband breaks it off with her. They have 2 kids. Husband breaks it off with her because she watched him bomb a stand-up comedy routine, and he's like, "You're just gonna look at me as a failure forever." And she's like, "No, I love you." And he's like, "Also, I've been cheating on you for 6 months."
Oh, come on.
So he skedaddles.
Bombshell.
And she basically, in her apartment building in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, goes up 2 floors to her parents' apartment and goes, "My husband left." And her mom immediately goes, "What did you do?"
Oh, man.
And her father storms out of the room and starts angrily playing the piano. And she goes, "Dad, wait, listen." And he goes, "No." And he like slams the piano down.
Angrily playing the piano?
That's how he solves issues.
That's how he expresses his anger?
Honestly, best. I kind of really like that because it shows very rich, well-off, doesn't really know how to handle when a family dynamic doesn't go well. It kind of speaks for...
Yeah, it's like what happens when you break the status quo. It's not even like, even though it's not her fault, it's like they immediately just blame her because it's like, you've ruined the sanctity of this family.
Mm-hmm. He immediately goes to say, like, "I asked you when you first brought this guy home, like, is he a winner? Are you going to stay? And is he the right one? That's what he says. Is he the one?
Oh,
and she
okay.
goes, yes, he is, Daddy. And then he brings that up again.
So it's her fault.
5 years later. Yeah, it's her fault, apparently.
That's some bullshit, man. That's the 50s, though.
That's the 50s.
Yeah. So it's about, like, she tries to become a stand-up comic?
Yeah, she tries to become a stand-up comic. But what
was stand-up comedy even like in the 50s? I've never even heard of that. Like, stand-up seems like a relatively new phenomenon, to me, at least. Like, I know it's not, but...
It seemed like it was still kicking around. Like, it was pretty good. I was
imagine it was more theatrical and less, like, relatable, right?
I don't know.
A little more exaggerated, maybe?
The main character kept on getting arrested for using profanity on the main stage, and it seemed to be only a thing that the woman could get arrested for.
Oh, wow.
Also, she was operating without a burlesque license, and she flashed the audience. So there's that. But they were like, that's no problem at all. But you use the fuck word.
You use the fuck word on stage, you're going down.
Yeah. Ugh. And it's she spends a night in jail, goes to the jury the next day, and this was her first time because she's in the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
First time getting a sexist judge. So he goes like, you look very nice today. Because you're so pretty, I'm going to let you off with a warning. And she goes, 1 fucking second. And you just have to stand there and go like, oh, you're ruining this for yourself.
It's like on one point, it's like, oh my God, that was badass. But also it's like, just take the money and run. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Tell me more about this Wolf 359 podcast.
Okay.
So this is like a fictional thing. Is it like in seasons or something like that? Like how is it framed? Like from what point of view is it, you know?
As someone who's got a little bit of an addictive personality.
Same.
Yeah. I listen to it straight. So
straight through?
I think there are 4 seasons now. I'm up at episode 45. But it's kind of framed in like story arcs almost.
Yeah, like each like for example, maybe like say each season is 10 episodes. It's like a 10 episode arc.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So it's literally like a season of TV, just like audio.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I love it.
Yeah,
my gosh.
That's really awesome. Like that's not even a thing that was like that had ever occurred to me.
Really?
Never. Like most podcasts to me are like just comedians talking about shit for an hour.
What was it? No,
like that's what a podcast is to me. Either a comedian or a YouTuber or like an actor or something like that, and it's just like, this is my side project. Well, like I don't know many people who podcast for a living, you know.
Well, it's really hard to.
Totally, yeah.
Some of the podcasts I'm listening to, the creator will get on at the end and go like, so we're not making any money on this, but here's an advertisement from Blue Apron who give us 5 cents an episode. I'm sure they get more, but like,
yeah, no, but
it's really a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. It's a side hustle at best.
Yeah.
Like nobody I know nobody's main gig is podcasting, and if it is, then it's like you got to diversify.
I mean, Welcome to Night Vale did a pretty freaking good job. If you ever
Welcome to Night Vale, I've heard of that. Yeah. That's like a murder mystery type thing, right? Detective story-ish.
It's almost a mix between Lovecraftian horror comedy. They definitely hit like the LGBTQ community with like having a gay character as a main character.
Okay.
First off, a quick little blurb.
Yeah.
Podcasting has the stories that I listen to has one of the most like diverse, because they'll talk about like, hey, I'm this race, this is the color of my skin.
Yeah.
They talk about a lot of like sexual identities and how people go about their day in different economic statuses. It's honestly one of the most diverse forms of...
It's like a super progressive medium.
Media, yeah. And you can't even see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It's all audio.
That's like, I think that's a testament to, like, it's that's the only avenue where you can just do that, you know, without having to go through miles and miles of red tape, or without having to worry about the representation being, like, incredibly problematic, you know, like you find on TV a lot, where it's like you get like a token black character that's like all these like just an embodiment of stereotypes, or like a gay character that's the same thing. You know, it's like with podcasting, like you can just tell stories,
and it's really cool.
It is cool.
Oh, yeah, I love it
like
so
that.
much. Okay. I got myself very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Do you ever talk about something that you really like so much that you just make yourself warm and happy about it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get that way when I talk about, like, certain video games or some shit.
True.
Because it's like some video games just give me, like, that bubbly feeling inside where I'm just like, oh, my God, I can't believe they made this way. It makes me so happy. It's awesome.
What was it? I've started ending my rants or my little spiels about things I love with, and that's my TED Talk. It works.
Dari, you should do TED Talks.
I honestly feel like I should. I feel like I could be interesting enough to do some.
What would your TED Talk topic be?
Ooh, I'd probably get into sexism in business courses.
Ooh.
Oh,
in
yeah.
business courses?
In business courses. What was it? I just had a business class where it's our HR.
Yeah.
It's 300 levels, so you have to be roughly around a junior to
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah, that's like an advanced, like an intermediate to advanced class.
For me, it's not that bad, but for some people, it's got like a lot of writing components.
Yeah,
you really
yeah.
have to. Okay, so point being, we were talking about sexual harassment and sexual assault in the workplace. Very dangerous topics to get into because people
get super defensive about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
because they're just like, it's not me.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, it's not you, dude, but like.
You have to have an open mind and listen to other people go and talk about, like, this is how you avoid this topic, or this was my experience with it. It's not a single gender thing. It doesn't happen to one race of people or economic status. It's literally everyone can be affected by this.
Yeah, it's a systemic problem about, like, accepted behaviors and what we, think of as normal, but is like when you look at it in a vacuum, it's like, I don't know, dude, that's not normal. That's not cool.
Oh yeah. What was it? So the teacher gets up and she asks the class, so how do you define sexual assault or sexual violence or sexual harassment? Okay. And
yeah, that's like a thing that I see a lot of people, even like people at like a high level, famous people, like rationalizing away certain, like, aspects of the current social climate because they're like, well, it wasn't sexual assault. You can't group everything in with sexual assault. And I'm like, fair point, but it's also, it's all part of the same problem.
It's all
anyway,
part of the same
continue.
problem. And the guy up front basically goes, well, it's getting harder and harder to define them each day. And then the teacher clicks a button, and on the PowerPoint, the slideshow, it immediately goes to the legal definitions of sexual harassment and sexual assault. And I'm like, yeah! It's not
like,
that hard.
Represent. It's like, Joe, you think it's getting harder and harder to define? Look
at it.
Yeah.
What was it? And then comes the issue of, what if I want to say something in my dorm room and someone walks by and gets offended by it and reports it? Isn't that their problem? And I raise my hand and I go, well, as an RA, I can say that you don't own the dorm rooms. For the best part of this, you're essentially renting out the space in a shared community. If you say something that might offend someone, that is an everybody problem. If someone brings in a Confederate flag and someone has an issue with it, we have to ask them to take it down.
Oh,
if
yeah.
no one does, then that's
that's an extreme example, right?
Business.
Like, yeah, I can imagine that being a sticky issue when it comes to, like, literally just saying something. Because a lot of people, like, rationalize their shitty behavior by, putting it under the veil of humor. But, like, that's not an excuse. Like, I lived with some people who, like, did that all the time. And I'm like, you guys are really fucked up. Like,
it's just...
It's like the jokes you guys make are really fucking inappropriate. And it's like they're just, like they never outright called me out on it, but I have a feeling at least one of them wanted to call me a snowflake or some shit.
I mean, as soon as one person gets offended by it, that means that there are probably other people who don't want to break the ice and say,
there's other people who it affects them, but they just don't want to say anything, because they don't want to bring up an issue. They don't want to confront anybody.
Yeah.
They don't like confrontation, that kind of thing. Like, that was my problem for a while. It was like, just because it was like in my home that I was comfortable bringing up, like, yeah.
Once you get uncomfortable in your home, I feel a little bit difficult to make yourself comfortable enough to bring it up outside the living space.
Yeah.
Point being, in the area of this business class, I felt like it wasn't being understood that when you say things that might be inappropriate or offensive, that reflects directly on you. And so if you're saying that in a business atmosphere or a business environment, someone's going to remember that, and that's going to affect you professionally.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, even if you say that on
inappropriate
your own time.
behavior can get you fired, as we know, we're coming to find out more and more every day with, like, you know, high profile people getting fired from big companies, and it's like, well, you shouldn't have been acting like a shitty person. Like,
yeah.
You know, and people were like, what about due process? It's like, due process is a court of law thing. There's nothing that says you can't be there's nothing that says you can't be called out for your shitty behavior or fired by your employer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got to check yourself. You got to check your own behavior.
And that's the whole reason why HR is present and involved. People work a lot better when they're comfortable in their workspace.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't hurt to be a decent person.
That's a very good. That's where to start, pretty much. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like at very first, right? The best thing you can do to like, you're like, man, I want to do something about this, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what I can do. It's like, well, first step, examine your own behavior. Make sure you're not being a shitty person. And if you think you might be being a shitty person, stop. I don't know where I'm going, but it's like,
it's just
it starts with you, basically. You know,
basically starts with you. Yeah, I feel like self-evaluation is really difficult.
Yeah,
not only
totally.
hearing yourself. What's it called when you like are not putting yourself down, but
self-deprecation?
No, not self-deprecation. It's where you're giving yourself critique, like hearing yourself critique yourself.
Yeah,
that's kind of hard as shit to do.
Oh yeah, totally, 100%.
Wow, I did something wrong, and I should fix that. But I want to do it again because that's just the way that I've always done it.
Yeah. Or it's like something that could be wrong, you know, like you don't necessarily think is wrong because it's just not ingrained in your head that that's a, you know, like a wrong, like, behavior, I guess. I don't know.
So it's basically like the society that you've surrounded yourself in or the time that you grew up in has affected your way of acting.
Or like some people are shitty because they have shitty parents.
I mean, true, but there's always a learning curve. You don't have to take directly after the people that surround you.
Yeah, that's totally like I mean, not only like obviously you're gonna draw some influence from the people around you, but like not 100. Like when it comes to like completely, you know, like you shouldn't. You should be like you should be your own person. You shouldn't take like you shouldn't formulate all of your behavior based on those around you.
Yeah, I think I'm getting myself riled up, like angry about this.
Really?
Still. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries. I have a lot of opinions about this, and if I don't like slow myself down,
if you don't kind of tether yourself, you might like alienate some people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, no one's listening to this podcast anyway. So like,
I
you can vent
know.
the only audience is me. So like you can. I mean, not to just like if anybody's actually listening to this, then thank you, and I'm sorry, but like.
No, I mean, just, like, I've gotten super close to, like, talking to someone and they'll say stupid shit on repeat. And I'm getting close to, like, standing up and going, like, fuck you, fuck this. It's kind of like you have to understand your audience.
Yeah. And, like, I've run into that problem, right? Where it's, like, I hesitate to say anything to anybody about that kind of thing, you know? Because it's, like, because at one point I was so ingrained in the way that I thought, you know, I was kind of on the opposite end of the problem where I was like getting too hostile about it because I'm like, you're just wrong. What you're doing is just fucking wrong and weird and you're being shitty. And they're just like, fuck you, man. Like, this is the way I've always been. And it's like, well, then the way you've always been is shitty. But it's like, you know,
I mean,
it's like you can't just like,
you have to open up a dialogue.
Yeah, you're not going to change anybody's tune with hostility, you know? And I fear that I may have pushed these people even further into their shitty behavior by being the scapegoat for them to be like, well, this is what the other people are like, you know? It's like, fuck it, live and learn. So it's like, yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Kind of why I don't talk about politics anymore, just because
it's hard. It's
hard.
It's not.
I stick to TED Talks now.
Yeah.
That's the way I go. I actually was listening to a TED Talk from the woman who writes the script for Grey's Anatomy and, like, How to Get Away with Murder. And she was talking about feeling not the rhythm of the inspiration, but more along the lines of a vibration that goes through you when you're inspired. And once it's gone, you feel empty. You feel like you're desolate, essentially.
Yeah, like writing like peaks and valleys of inspiration and stuff when you're like writing or anything like that. As far as like creativity goes, is that what it was kind of about?
Yeah, she basically described it as because she's a writer, she could visually see when she wasn't getting the inspiration. She could see like how her work degraded, how it was basically filler episode after filler episode. For those of you who watch Grey's Anatomy,
was there a lot of filler?
Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was more unnecessary drama, kind of why I like Scrubs more, because it focuses, it's comedy and it does have drama, but it focuses a lot on like the medical terms and like how to actually. Is
this Grey's Anatomy we're talking about right now, or Scrubs?
Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
Focuses on actually how to do a procedure. Like if you're arguing in Grey's Anatomy, if you're arguing with your girlfriend and you get so flustered that you show up to an operation 5 minutes late, that person's dead. Gone. Bye.
Did that happen in the show or something?
100 times.
Really?
It was just like someone gives a diabetic person too much insulin or sugar, and that messes it up because someone had said a sexist comment to her, and that affected her work. Like, you have to know separation.
Yeah.
But that was, like, the drama for that episode. I'm like, no, Issy.
Aww.
Oh, that was one of the characters' names.
Yeah, that seems, I don't know, that's kind of fucked up where it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They had to put the lady in, like, a ice bath, and, like, she couldn't get her kidneys or her liver, whatever's affected by alcohol. I don't know. Should probably know since I'm in college and drinking, but.
So what are your other majors? We've gone through. We started with the communications degree. We kind of went all over the place after that. But like, what other ones have you picked up? Is it a PR? Oh wait, a business.
Business, yeah.
And then what's the third one?
Writing and rhetoric.
Ooh.
So I was really strapped for cash. More like my parents were strapped for cash because my brother got into college.
Yeah.
This was my sophomore year, and so I had to find a way to buy my books, to pay for where I'm gonna live, and to pay for my meals.
Yeah.
So I picked up 3 jobs. And
is that when you were working at the Ryan Center?
That's when I was working at the Ryan Center, at the coffee house, and then I started working as a residential advisor.
Oh, an RA. Okay, yeah. You started working as an RA, and that's what you're still doing.
Oh, that's God bless. Yeah, I'm still doing that.
RA seems like a solid gig.
I got a promotion actually.
Nice.
Community advisor.
Ooh.
So
you're a CA now.
Yeah,
yeah. Fancy.
It's only half a step above an RA, if even. It's kind of like an RA leader.
That's cool.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty solid.
But so I was looking at regional tuition and how I would qualify for it, and I found out that the writing and rhetoric area would definitely get me $500 off my tuition. So I was like, yeah, let me just take.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me just take 8 more classes.
Yeah. Let me just pick up another major just to
pay a little bit less.
Yeah. A little $500 less. That's my God. That's nuts.
I mean, that would be like 50 hours of.
So
were you doing
3 majors and 3 jobs at the same time?
Dude, I was doing 4 jobs last semester.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, so apparently there's a law in Rhode Island where you can't work more than 20 hours a week on an on-campus job for college, which I think is bubkiss because that just makes it harder for students to go to different areas and find jobs. However, I was working the RA job and a different job on campus, and I got called by accounting, and they said, like, we're not going to force you to quit this other job.
But you just can't get paid for it.
But no, but you can't have the RA job when you have this job.
So no.
It was the choose or choose.
Yeah, choose one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, not only can you not work a state school on campus, but you can't work any of the other Rhode Island colleges on campus jobs. That still counts as the 20 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of bullshit. I don't really get it. I mean, it works for me, right? Just because like I mean, compared to that, I don't have the work ethic for that. That's nuts.
Oh,
like,
no,
I seriously, like, I admire the dedication to fucking pull off three majors and 4 jobs at the same time.
That's really like
like fucking respect. Like that's insane.
Thanks.
I would not be able to do that.
I think the one thing I honestly learned from it was, as you said, work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that grind though.
Yeah. No, because like that's like when it's born out of necessity, like that's like I've never had a situation like that, you know? It's like right now I'm getting by. I have one on-campus job and it's just 10 hours a week. And like that's
Oh, wait, what do you do?
I work for the Center for Career and Experiential Education.
Oh, nice. So you're making those connections.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I would be pretty lost as far as career planning goes if it wasn't for that job. Because like they're helping me get a LinkedIn profile together. They're helping me I have a fucking kick-ass resume right now.
Oh, see, that's what I need to do. Yeah. I need to actually get what I'm doing and put it on paper.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm not even trying to plug, but you should go to the Career Center and be like, yo, help me get a resume.
Is that in Roosevelt?
Yes. Okay. It's on like the left side of Roosevelt Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's like 2 white doors in the front. It's like the right one leads you to academic advising. The left one leads you to the Career Center.
Yeah, okay.
And everybody in there is super nice.
I'm going to try for a walk-in, honestly. I need to get my like summer internship down.
Yeah?
Last summer, worked 3 jobs back to back. It was awful.
Yeah, that sounds insane.
Yeah, but
last summer I worked on campus with you know Dimitri? Dimitri Ashby?
Ooh, no.
Okay, he's just he's another film major with me. He's been my boy for a couple of years now. He was on the first episode for anybody who actually follows these fucking podcasts. But it's like yeah, we worked for HRL. We were basically on the housekeeping crew for.
I remember seeing you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, towards the end of the summer when you were moving back in, right? Yep. Yeah, I was living in Eddy Hall. But we were working in Wiley and Garrahy, all of which these are like the primo fucking nice dorms on campus. So it was like it was pretty nice. Yeah, some of the other HRL people were working in like Hutchinson and shit, and I'm just like,
sorry.
No air conditioning. Dude, we were working in the air conditioning during the summer. That was like the biggest perk.
Honestly,
right?
With some of these days, I was sweating through shirts like crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, during the summer, it was nuts. It was fucking crazy.
Like, I would have to be hauling buckets out behind some kind of academic building, and then I'd have to drive to AAA, so I'd have a change of clothes in the back of my car. It was wild.
Yeah, necessitated at that point. But I definitely admire your hustle, you know? It sounds like you got a lot of hustle.
I'm waiting for it to pay off.
Yeah?
Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady.
What would constitute it paying off for you? Like, what do you want to do with your degrees?
Getting a job that pays more than $20 an hour. That's the goal for me. Honestly, the millennial dream is so simple. I don't think that people really acknowledge it. They're like, oh, people of our generation, they want Lamborghinis and Mercedes. And I'm like,
that's not fucking true.
That wouldn't be bad if someone wants to donate a Mercedes.
Yeah, no, it's like, if someone wants to hit me up with a Lamborghini, like, I'll fucking take it. But, like, I just want to live in a place that doesn't have fucking bed bugs, dude.
Yeah, like, I want a place that has AC, that I can put my potted plants where the neighbors won't be, like, fucking next door 24/7. I understand if you want a love life, but just
it's like, everybody's got to fuck, but it's like, yeah.
What was it? I want a place that I actually can sleep on a mattress instead of an airbed, which is what I did over the summer.
Really?
Yeah. Queen size, though, so it was nice. I could roll around.
Yeah, but still, it's an airbed still.
True.
Was it just like was it literally just air mattress?
It was just an air mattress. I put some sheets over it. That was my living area. Yeah.
Where was that, in Rhode Island? Where were you last summer?
Immediately off of campus. I basically found a room. The guy was showing it around. He's like, yeah, so I got like 3 other people coming to see it today. And I was like, I can pay for this right now.
That happened to me, yo. This fucking, when I was looking for like alternative off-campus housing, I saw this really, really nice room. It was a little expensive, but it was like, it had a really, really nice desk, and it had like a skylight, and it had a private bathroom. Ooh. And I was like, I want this shit. But someone literally, like, I called back the guy the next day, right after I talked to my parents about it, and he's like, actually, someone got it as soon as you left. And I'm like, that's why you were asking me if I would be okay with alternatives if someone were to snake this room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you bastard.
No, I literally ran, got my checkbook, and was like, here, take my money.
Yeah, that's what I had to do the second time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I found the second place, which, you know, incidentally turned out to have bed bugs, but...
What?
Yeah.
Like in the walls, on the mattress? Did it even come with a mattress?
Oh yeah, no, it came with a mattress. The bed, the shit was furnished.
Okay.
Yeah, my roommate had. This is a whole story. I think I'm gonna get Dimitri back on here so I can just tell this fucking story on this podcast because it's like it's a fucking story. Okay. But basically, I moved in. Yeah, I moved into this place, and you know, like about a month in, my roommate. I saw my room, like one of my housemates, taking his mattress out and dumping it in the yard. And I'm like, I came out and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, this shit's covered in bed bugs. And I'm like, that's not good. But I didn't really think anything of it at first until a couple months later, like towards November, towards the end of the semester, I started to get bed bugs.
Oh.
And I checked in the box spring and it was there was a lot of bed bugs in there. So it's like, I had to go through that whole thing.
Wait, what does that even look like?
What?
Like you look in the box spring and... Are there just black dots there that are moving around?
Yeah, there's just fucking bugs, man. There's these little like brown red ovals just fucking just chilling all over the place. It was really disgusting.
Oh god. Oh, that's
And it's
terrifying.
literally like, yeah, it's just super disconcerting because like I don't have that like innate fear of bugs that a lot of other people do. Mm-hmm. You know, like when I see a bug outside, I'm like, what's up, bug? Like it's just a little bug. But the concept of a bed bug
of like living with 100 other things.
Yeah, it's just in your bed, where you sleep, where you live. It's just gross. Yeah. It's just a fucking terrifying concept. And it's like, they're not really dangerous either. They don't spread disease or anything.
They bite like a motherfucker.
Yeah, no, they just bite. It's just really, really irritating. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. What was it, the place over the summer? I was actually chopping up veggies, making a salad or whatever the hell I was doing.
Uh-huh.
And cutting board was on the countertop. I lift up the cutting board. It takes off some of the countertop. Underneath it, little fucking termites.
Termites?
Like, yeah. I was like, putting that back down, taking my food, just putting it to a side and debating if I'm hungry enough to eat it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, I kept my dishes clean, but just having it in the general vicinity as an insect, it doesn't really...
It doesn't do very much for your
appetite.
Your pervading mental state.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. It just makes you fucking paranoid. It's gross.
Oh, hell
So yeah, now I'm not in that place anymore. I moved back on campus for the last semester.
Same.
Like literally, like I called the housing department and I was literally just like, put me anywhere. Just let me make it so that I don't have to drop out during my last fucking semester. Just give me a room and let me fucking graduate. Let me be a productive alumnus of this fucking school.
So what did the housing personnel say when you told her all this?
It was Dan Casey, the guy who runs like all the resident advised placement people.
Did he basically say like, I can't help you
graduate?
No. I can give you a place to live.
Well, that was basically what I was like I was getting at was like, if I have a comfortable place to live for these last like few months, it's like I'm good. I'll be the famous guy that's like, hey man, I went to URI. They fucking helped me. Because it's like, make no mistake, I'm gonna be famous one day. Probably not, but you know, it's all good.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah, no, it's exactly like I'm not gonna be a fucking Brad Pitt, but it's like, you know, if people like my shit, like that's cool. But yeah, no, he's like, okay, look, you've got like double the credits you need to qualify for upperclassmen housing. So we've got a room in Garrahy. I'm going to sign you up for it right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm just like, thank you.
So you're living in Garrahy now?
Yes, I am.
You got that kitchen style.
Oh, yeah.
That sweet look.
Yeah.
Ooh, sweet,
4-person
like
suite.
S-U-I-T.
I live with an RA. Me and him are the only ones who use the kitchen.
Oh, hey, which
so,
RA?
Like, Ben? I don't know his last name.
I know Ben.
Yeah, you know Ben?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think he used to be in Fairweather last year.
Yeah, probably. I know he's friends with a lot of RAs that are in Fairweather. A bunch of them were in the suite. I think they were going to Bonneview the other night.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Yeah, and they told me about this well, they were telling a story right while I was making a pizza, and so it was like I was just sort of chilling, listening on this story, and like I couldn't help but catch it because it was like apparently in Fairweather there was a kid living there who was like a well-known like coke dealer or something like that, and one night he was just so blasted on fucking cocaine that he like was like punching the wall, and he had like a bloody hand, and he was dragging his hand all over the fucking wall, and so there was just blood all over the stairwell or some shit, and I'm like, that's fucking metal, dude, that's insane. Like, I can't believe that. I'm like, when did this happen? He's like, yesterday, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking nuts. So it's like apparently the cops came and arrested the guy, and they released him. They put him back in the dorm, and he went back to doing the same exact thing, just fucking pounding on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm just like, holy shit, dude. Freshman dorms are fucking diesel. Like that's insane.
Wild. I honestly have a lot of respect for the resident advisors that deal with them.
That deal with like the freshman dorms and shit.
Not deal with them. They actually like do some pretty good work, like establishing professional connections. But they have to put up with a lot of.
They have to put up with a lot of shit
that are thrown at them. To be honest, yeah. Like, they'll be balancing their schoolwork and getting knocks on their door at 3 a.m. going, like, can you help my friend right now? And they'll just stop what they're doing and go for
totally.
it.
You have to be, I would imagine you have to be a very specific kind of person. You have to have a certain level of empathy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like active empathy. Like empathy where it's like, it's not just like, I feel for you, but I'm not going to do anything to help you right now. Because that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if I was an RA, I'd just be like, bro, I'm trying to sleep. Like, what the fuck?
What was it?
I couldn't be an RA, but
I've actually seen some of these people, like, they'll be talking to me one moment, and then, like, some resident will come up to them and go, like, I need some help. And you'll see the 360 degrees their attitude turns, where it's like, all right, let's do this.
Yep.
And
let's get shit done.
They'll bust a move and be, like, awesome about it.
Mad respect for the RAs.
Yeah.
If you're in college and you've got a resident advisor or, like, resident assistant, what the fuck are they called? I don't know.
Resident assistants now. They used to be resident advisors.
Yeah. Whatever your shit's called, the people who run your dorm.
Have mercy on them.
Give them a fist bump and like give them a hug and say, I respect the shit out of you, because they do a lot of shit for you that you don't even know, son.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. God bless.
Dog bless.
Oh, my God. It's honestly been, like, one of my favorite jobs ever.
Does anything stand out at you as, like, a crazy, either, like, just a really good experience that you've had, or, like, something like a crazy story or anything that's happened to you?
I've got plenty of crazy stories. I honestly
Let's hear the best one. What's like...
I'd rather go with a nice story.
Can we have one of each?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whichever order, whichever will leave you feeling better at the end of the day.
I'm going to go with a nice story first.
Okay.
So
you could do like a nice story sandwich. If you got more than one nice story, you could do a nice story, then a crazy story, then another nice story.
Yeah, I could do that.
Do it.
All right. So some resident comes up to me and she goes, I'm locked out in my room. So I go, all right. So I walk her up and like swipe her into her room, and she's like, yeah, I came down from Massachusetts, completely forgot that I don't have a coat anymore. So I was like, come with me, I've got something that doesn't fit me. So I basically gave her my winter coat. I had extras, but this one just didn't fit. It made me look like I was trying to squeeze into a Barbie doll. So she takes that, and now 5 months later, she comes up to my resident office window and she hands me mittens, and she's like, yeah, you gave me a coat last semester and it's been so useful. I keep on getting compliments from it. Here's some mittens I bought for you.
Aww.
I was like,
that's so sweet.
Thank you. That is real.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so what was the situation? Why didn't she have a coat anymore?
She just was driving down from Massachusetts and forgot it. Like, honestly, first 3 semesters of college, I forgot to bring actual long sleeve shirts. Like, I had
coat. Okay, I think you said a code, like the room code.
No,
okay, no, yeah, she just didn't have a coat.
Yeah, C-O-A-T.
Yeah.
C-O-A.
Yeah,
no,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Don't worry.
Good. I just said it so fast. I was like, no, that's 4 letters.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good. I'm in college.
Phonetically, how would you even make the word coat with
C-O-T?
Yeah.
Coat.
And you can do that in the phonetic alphabet.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Like I just came from choir and we're learning about phonetics and shit. And I'm just like, this is just a brain teaser for me. That's all choir is for me.
Are you in any of the a cappella groups?
No, just concert choir.
What?
Yeah.
What about musically inclined?
What's that?
An a cappella group.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not in any other groups. I just auditioned for concert choir a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I've just been riding the wave ever since.
I'm
like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, the way my high school choir director used to put it is, some people are brick voices and some people are mortar voices. You know how it's like a brick wall, you got the bricks, which are the structure of the wall, but the bricks don't stay together without the mortar. It's like some people are brick voices and some people are mortar voices.
You're basically painting a picture that I'm imagining is like Lord of the Rings right now. Get that brick and mortar, make a castle, get some elves to defend it.
Let's make a fucking choir castle.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Get Legolas in there.
I think I'm a little bit of a mortar voice. I lift it up, you know?
You provide the
I hold it
necessary
together.
support.
I hold the shit together.
You're like a push-up bra.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the push-up bra of music.
I'm the push-up bra of the concert choir. I'll take that. But yeah, no, we're learning about, and I'm like the phonetic alphabet symbol for like the O, right? And it's like there's like a bunch of them. There's like the A's and the E's and the O's and stuff like that. But it's like,
what was it? Someone was actually telling me about how to do accents, like it's the same positioning of the lips, but like it's where you hold your tongue in the mouth, like I think it's
how to do different accents for like different languages and shit.
Different languages,
yeah.
Like Guten Tag, where you have to, if you're doing a German accent, you gotta hold your tongue at the top of your mouth.
Yeah, and the thing is with the phonetic alphabet, you don't even have to learn the intricacies of the language because it's like a universal language based on sound. And like,
that's so
and like
cool.
not every language has every sound, but every sound in the phonetic alphabet can apply to the language that you need. Yeah. So it's like we're learning like a couple like Italian pieces and Russian pieces, and like there is whatever weird like sound you make in whatever language, there's a symbol or a group of symbols that mean that sound in the phonetic alphabet. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn actually Chinese just because I've been to I went to China over the summer to see my cousin.
Oh, really?
She's been living there for a couple of years.
That's cool. What the fuck is China like, man?
There's a lot of Chinese people there. First off, it's actually kind of surprising because I went during the summertime where it's 96 degrees, but the Weather Channel will say it feels like 111. Good fucking luck. It's really cool because...
Is that just because of, like, the density of the people and, like, the... Like, where, like...
I went to Shanghai, and then I, like, hopped over to Beijing. So,
what is, like...
train ride.
What is, like, population density in those... Like, what does it feel like? Is it, like, kind of normal, or is there, like, a lot of people? Because, like, every image... Like, I'm the most, like, culturally unaware person in the fucking world, so it's, like... Whenever you see a piece of media that has, like, China in it, it's always, like, just... fucking dense streets packed with fucking people.
Honestly,
is that in any way accurate at all?
The train stops, yeah.
The train? Oh yeah,
is.
Okay, I can see that.
But out on the street side, it's pretty easy. It's kind of like a New York area. It also might have been the temperature that it was, because who the hell wants
to walk outside in that shit?
Yeah, in 111 degree Fahrenheit.
I'm just thinking, like, what would cause that huge spike where it's like it's 96 degrees but feels like 111?
Probably the smog there.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, my cousin was actually telling me that sometimes there'll be the tradition where people will take out either their trash or like something for a loved one who died, and they'll burn it right outside their house. So
oh my god.
So it's like
that's crazy.
Interchangeable. It could be trash. It could be like a loved one's possessions. Who's dead, not alive.
Yeah, I would hope so.
You really suck if you're just burning your kids' toys. I love you, son.
We must burn your toys.
But there's no public water fountains, which surprised me.
Yeah.
For cold water. But there is for hot water.
Hot water, not even just like lukewarm shit.
No,
it's like,
hot.
Why?
The mentality. I think it's good for tea. But also that
was the first guess. But like,
the mentality is like it's better for you if you drink hot water, and people will just go for some hot water in 111 degree heat.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like it's amazing.
Because I know like cold water is a little bit more of a shock to your system, so there might be something to the idea that hot water is better for you. But it's still just like
hot
it's
water on a hot day.
It's a strange concept for sure.
Yeah. What was it? They sell waters on the street for 50 cents a bottle, and I was like, this is in my budget, but you have to constantly buy bottled water.
Yeah.
Because you go through it so fast as probably a white lily foreigner visiting a country that's hot as balls. So, people actually at URI will tell you go to China before you go to Taiwan, which is what I went to for J-term this winter.
Yeah?
So I went during the hottest time for China and then one of the coldest times for Taiwan. And in Taiwan, they do speak Taiwanese, but they also speak a majority Chinese. So,
really?
Yeah. So I would go Fuyuan that's basically waiter, to call someone over, and they wouldn't respond because
is that in Taiwanese or Chinese?
That's in Chinese.
And what Fuyuan?
In Taiwanese they pronounce it different. They also have a different word, but it was supposed to be Fuyuan. Ah, fuck. I can't remember the word.
It's just a slightly different pronunciation or something?
Slightly different pronunciation. And they'll typically use a different word, like they'll say pretty woman to get the waitress's attention. I can't remember that. What I do remember is Dawa, let's fight. And
oh my god.
Dao Pao, let's fuck. Because I was standing in line with these two guys that really wanted to hit on some girls. So they were learning like all the things, like what do I say to a guy?
Were they saying like let's fuck to the girl and then like let's fight to each other, where it's like we'll fight over the girl or something like that? Is there a whole narrative to it?
It was their logic, like what if someone tries and like dances with this girl while you're dancing with this girl? You gotta go like Dawa, let's fight.
Dawa, let's fight.
Instead of Dao Pao.
Wait, is it Dao Pao?
Dao Pao.
Dao Pao.
They kept on like hitting their hands.
That's so
like
funny.
Dao Pao. As emotion. I don't know if that would carry on for the cultural communication. How else would you say like let's fuck with your hands besides the whole
besides the fucking yeah.
No. Then Hao Zhou Bu Jian.
What's
Long
that?
time no see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sensible.
I would say that nonstop. These pronunciations are awful just for anyone listening, if you're listening at all. But that's what I would say constantly.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to learn the language as fast as possible. I used to know how to say like how much does this cost, and I don't have that much money. I used to know how to say that.
The two things that you need to say most often.
Yeah. This is really funny.
That is really funny. That's cool though, man. I that's one of my in retrospect, right? Like I don't know what I would have done differently. I don't know where I would have gone or what I would have like done, you know, like what program I would have chosen to do, but that's like I feel like I'm going to regret not studying abroad.
I mean, there's still always spring break. You could go on a spring break trip. South by Southwest always open.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think anybody I don't nor do I think my parents have the money for that right now. Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm trying to really like set myself up for when I graduate, so like I'm trying not to be not to spend too much, because like South by Southwest, the trip like
it's expensive.
It would be awesome, but the trip is easily like over $1,000 for like not even a week.
Oh,
it's like
100%.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much right now.
The thing is, they don't really say
and
like.
Plus, like low key, like I have a lot of friends in the film department, but I'm kind of sick of the department as a whole. So like I don't want to go South by Southwest. I don't want to go South by Southwest with a whole bunch of people that I've been taking film classes with for 3 years.
See, this is why you got to pick up 2 other majors so you can talk to other people. Different departments, man.
Yeah. So. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I've mostly been doing film and comm, right? Because like I've got the film major. I've stuck with that the whole time. But I've got a minor in communications that I basically picked up like retroactively. Like I just went up to an advisor. Yeah. I just took like 8 comm classes, and I went to an advisor and I'm like, is there any way I qualify for a comm minor? And she's like, well, what about a major? And I'm like, well, I haven't taken any of like the major required classes. Yeah. So it's just like, just
put me down as
chill with a minor. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that looks solid on a resume. So yeah. Now it's official. I would have been able to. I would have just had to put like concentration or something like that, which is like that's lame. You're just making some shit up about yourself.
Yeah.
But
at that point, what was it? I almost got a leadership minor here.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top of the 3 majors.
On top of the 3 majors. Jesus Christ, Dari, you're crazy.
What was it? But the URI 101 department just didn't let me in. I guess I didn't have enough experience. I don't know. They didn't seem to hire
stupid.
a lot of...
Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not sure if this applies to that situation, but like the paradox of like, I feel like it's like you can coin it. You can quote me on this. It's the millennial paradox. Where it's like you need experience to get this job, but it's like I need the job to get experience, my dude.
I feel like it was also they wanted you to grow with the program. So for all the seniors or going to be seniors that applied to it, they just didn't really pick them. Which I also had a coworker there from last year. She stopped working in the HRL department because it just didn't work with her schedule. But I heard recently that she just did not like me. So I'm just going to blame the whole not getting the URI 101 thing on her. No offense, but she was not professional at all.
Yeah, man, that's super shitty, man.
Mm-hmm. Not just in the URI 101 things, which I don't know for
but
sure.
Just the general behavior was just not professional at all.
The general behavior in the working atmosphere that I talked with her in and interacted with her in, it was openly hostile.
Bruh, save the pettiness for when you go home.
Oh, God. Just restrain, keep it inside, and then be a shitty person on your own time.
Seriously. Fuck, man.
So do you kind of like view these almost as a digital diary that you share with people, like a podcast?
I mean, kinda. Like, what I'm basically using these for is just to get better at just interviewing and sustaining a conversation.
Okay.
Because that's like, I want to do this, like, I want this to be a thing that I do. You know, as I get older, as I meet more people, as I, like, make more professional connections, creative connections, like, I want to get more, like, I want to just talk to people about what they do.
All right.
Yeah. That's like, I like doing that a lot. So it's like.
Honestly, I think one of the hardest things is moving away from small talk to actual conversation.
Yeah.
What was it? I was reading something online, of course, because where else are my eyes going to be? And it was like, enough of this petty small talk. Ask me about my 12 years as an onion farmer. I was like, bold move, man. Bold move.
That's awesome. All right. Well, this is shit, man. This is the longest Party Up podcast that there's been so far by, like, twice over.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Because, like, normally, like, it isn't just this free-flowing of a conversation. Normally, I'm like, plug your shit. Yeah. I'm like, what do you, yeah. Like, what do you, like, what films are you working on? What do you want to do after you graduate? That kind of shit. Okay. So I guess it's like, with you, it's literally just like one, like a job that's over $20 an hour. I guess we'll leave off with this, like, we'll leave you off with a big question. What's your fucking dream job? If you could do anything.
It would be to be an assistant advisor. No, to be an advisor, but get paid by the hour. So, like, I'd be on reserve, getting paid for my time not working, but be there for some inspirational, like, quotes for when people are like, Darian, help me. You always inspire me, you pinnacle of light and beauty. And I'd go, search inside for your dreams and then bring them into reality. My employer. Honestly, it'd be an assistant, yeah.
Okay.
I like helping people, so
that's cool. That's solid. Yeah, and like fuck, man, I would pay you to be my fucking inspirational advisor. Like, shit, if that was a thing that I was able to do, that's pretty cool.
Oh, Christ.
That's cool.
That's the dream. Talk about
totally.
A millennial dream.
Yeah, totally. Just get paid to be uplifting and not have to do anything else. Like,
I can do that. I can go on some pretty bomb-ass speeches.
Yeah. I can see it.
Anywho, so do we handshake after this?
Sure. I don't know. But anyways, this has been the Party Up podcast. This has been a nice long chill ass party.
Yeah.
And it's Dari.
It's Dari.
Thanks, Dari, for being on the podcast.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun.
Me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm just trying to stack up a bunch of these before I graduate, so I just have like, because I'm taking advantage of both I still have access to this lab, and the people, all the people around doing cool shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like everybody's got to think about what they're trying to do, so I've been talking to a lot of seniors about like what they're doing after they graduate. It's like now's the time to be thinking about it, and so it's like here you can think out loud with me, and just shoot the shit on my podcast for a little bit.
I might ask you about like how you do this later on after the podcast, because it's really fucking cool.
What? Just this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Using this lab is the easiest fucking thing in the world too. But all right, we'll get to this. We'll just do
later.
Off-camera conversation. All right, thanks, Dari, for being on the Party Up podcast. I've been Sal, and this has been. Thanks for partying. It's been a party.
It's been a real hoot.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.